fun. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Half orc, drunk beat cop is exactly what I want to play.
What's all this then?
Yeah, that didn't work at all.
No,
Did it make it worse?
No, it's still there.
that sucks.
We have more viewers than when we left somehow. So.
Technical difficulties bring all the boys to the yard.
Yeah.
It's the power of Schadenfreude.
Yeah. Since we left, though, I did decide I'm going to go with a half orc instead of a human character, though. So.
So does rolling hit die? Does that? Okay. Hey. Okay. Sweet. That works.
Oh, is that HD up there?
Apparently, it has something to do. Nope, fuck that, it didn't.
Ow! You're so loud. Holy
You sound
shit.
different in the call now.
Yeah.
And you're green, too.
I can't stand the echo. I hate my voice so much.
That's one of those things you get used to if you do stuff long enough. I mean, I've never entirely gotten over it. I still kind of cringe when I have to hear myself talking.
Yeah.
The moment after I say something, I was like, "Is that what I sound like when I say that?" I've never entirely.
Okay.
Hey, and I'm experiencing it right now, and it's awful. Yeah, you're right.
Yep, it's awful.
I'm like, why is anyone still watching? I'm all... Oh, it's gonna mute myself for a minute while I have an existential crisis.
You can't mute yourself for an existential crisis. That's the best TV, man. Come on.
That's good content. You're right. You're right. It is. It's good content. I'll keep myself not muted.
All right, what's going on here?
Okay, let's see.
So how did you determine the hit dice? I do not see
It is associated with your race. It'll be in that top
That's what I
green box
thought.
right underneath the race.
It's I think it's class. It's like Watchmen has D8.
Oh, is it in the class? Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, class.
Yeah, okay. It's like I don't think I see it. Oh, that's not the right. Yes, it is. Uh-oh.
You're liking this piece of junk, Josh.
Oh God. Where is that? Where was that?
The good news is we'll have this all figured out by the time we come back to do the show.
Yes. Do you just put an 8 in there, Alex? Is that what you ended up doing?
I put 1d8.
Just 1d8. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of modifier on your hit die roll? Is it your Constitution or anything like that, or is it just the straight roll?
I think it depending on what your Constitution is, it should have like the macro should throw in the modifier.
Oh, is there a macro for it?
Because I said I have the automatic plus one con next to the hit die, and it threw that in there because I rolled a 7.
Oh, okay.
And then it added the plus
there
1.
It is. Gotcha. Thank you. Ugh.
Wait.
Do we have any sort of house rules about re-rolling ones on hit points? Because I currently have 2 hit points.
Actually, yeah, the house rule for starting hit points, and just because I'm benevolent, is your starting first level hit points is whatever your con score is.
I'm not sure what your con is.
Con score. Okay. That's nice. All right.
It is nice.
15.
That's much better than 2.
It is.
So I will take it. We'll take it.
Just a little bit.
And now where?
Okay, so
Oh,
I
there's
get
my
plus
HP.
on my dex. Minus on my strength.
Where are they? There we go. So saving throws. I find that wands as its own save. Breath attacks. Spells. All right,
I was gonna say that we can hear somebody's TV in the background, but at this point, it really doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So I had myself muted most of the time.
Okay. That's just the throwing down the number. It's not rolling something. What are you doing?
Okay, so I think I'm starting to get what this build is going to look like. I forgot that there would be some. This is old school, and it's not going to go easy on me. So there's going to be some subtraction to my charisma from the half orc. But that's okay. I'm cool with that. Okay. When attacking an unaware opponent from behind, a thief receives a +4 bonus to hit and doubles any damage dealt. Cool, I get to backstab people.
Shut the front
Literally.
door. I think I fixed it.
No way.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? I know how to work some stuff.
Hey, it works. Hey, I am green again now, all of a sudden, but
I can deal with you being green.
yeah, as long as people can hear the way we actually sound.
We just got to call
Happy
you
with it.
Kermit from here on out, and everything will be good.
It's because I chose to be a half orc. It decided I'm permanently green.
Okay, now I'm surprised if none of the half orc explains the green. I'm surprised none of the Greyhawkers in the chat weren't yelling at you guys about that. So you can be a half orc. You will. We're gonna have to come up why you were allowed onto the force, because there was definitely going to be some prejudice towards you, and you're going to get an awful lot of guff and flack from people for being a half orc. So I'm not saying don't be a half orc, because that's awesome role playing. So I definitely want you to stick with the half orc. So we have to come
diversity hire.
Okay, yeah, because they got that in Greyhawk. Well, this is
Tax breaks.
This is Leukish. So somebody, some kind of way, we have to figure out who pulled some strings to get you essentially on the force. Because while there are going to be some of your higher ups that are going to definitely be on your side with things, there's going to be more that will not. So
I like it. I think what I like about the character too is potentially, I think maybe he might have been allowed in and sort of brought in because someone wanted to, bring in this like musclehead, intimidation factor, like someone had some scheme, some higher up had some scheme to try and,
So you're a guinea pig? Is that what it is?
Sort of a guinea pig, like a trial run, and it didn't work. Like,
okay,
like that's why he's stuck at the bottom rank. He's been in it for years, and he's drunk, and he's sort of, but.
All right, we're gonna put something else in there too. You're somebody's guinea pig, but somebody pulled strings to get you in. So we have to figure out what you did to make this person pull some strings for you. You had to have done something good for somebody. Could have been the captain. Could have been somebody with some kind of pull you did a favor for some kind of way. So we don't have to figure that out now, but jot that down, keep it in mind, and then we're going to figure it out. So
I have ideas, but we'll talk about them off stream.
There you go. David Schneider, thank you for liking the stream. And I want to say thank you for everybody who put up with my incompetent... Well, you know what? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Probably was. But I figured it out with enough time and got it taken care of. Now, I didn't change anything, so it wasn't technically my fault. It was OBS changed it, right? That sounds right. IT always buys that, don't they? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I can go back up and we can go through the attack value thing. Like I said, we don't have to worry about that. The hit points we already got. You guys got your alignments, okay? Known languages, okay? We'll get to that in a second. You're going to be able to know, everybody knows common, okay? If you're a different race, you're going to know whatever your race is. So our good old half-orc, you're going to know orc, okay? Did I hear that we have a Tom Selleck dwarf going on? Is that what it was?
That's going to be for the investigator.
The investigator? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So your guy's just what, a human?
Human for my beat cop, yeah.
Okay. And then, did I hear correct? Are you playing a halfling, Grace?
Yes, I am.
If you're trying to suck up to me, it's working. So everybody knows I love halfling. So okay. So there you go. You can speak halfling in common for right now. So you've got that going.
Okay.
On. Okay. We're not going to worry about armor class right now. And so you know that PDF is a really good PDF, and it's got links. Everything's hyperlinked in the...
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I noticed.
Okay. Secondary skills we'll get to here in a second because we're going to do that. We got the rolling ability scores, the attack value. We don't really need to worry about that. Notes on saving throws, which are going to be in your classes. So we'll go through rolls to hits, choosing... Oh, I just went through all that. Okay, here we go. Here's the ability scores. Strength. We pretty much... it's going to give you a bonus to hit. And it gives you a bonus to your open doors. So, does anybody have a 13 or higher in their strength?
No.
Nope. A bunch of weak
Nope.
motherfuckers. All right. Maybe Tony will be able to pull it up. All right. Don't worry about that part of it then. Okay. So, intelligence. Okay. So, Grace, what's your character's intelligence?
An 11.
An 11. Excellent. You're right middle of the road. You can speak your native language. So, there you go. Your languages are common and halfling. And... the most important thing, you're literate. You are literate.
yeah.
You can read and write. All right, Alex, what's the intelligence on your
That's
fellow?
a 9.
9. Okay, this is good. You're still literate.
Yes.
and you will speak your native tongue. So you get to speak Common. That's what you speak. Now, in old school editions, there is such a thing called alignment language.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give a fuck if anybody in chat's going to give me a hard time about this. I never use it because I think it's stupid as shit.
Yeah, I think that's so stupid. Thank you.
So there you go. We're not using it.
At least for the Watchmen, I see alignment language as like speaking like legalese at someone.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go.
You just know your Miranda. You can just recite off, Miranda rights.
Now keep in mind, if you use alignment languages in your game, good on you. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it's really fun for you. So
totally. Rule of fun, man.
I'm not criticizing you. No, but Asher the Bear agrees with me. It's stupid shit. Okay, so last but not least, all right, Dylan, what's the intelligence on the half orc?
He's got a 7.
Excellent. Okay, so with a 7 intelligence, your literacy level is basic, which means you can read some words, and the only languages you got are Orc and Common as well. So that's all you got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a built-in space for languages on the sheet, or should I be making those? Notes?
You might have to make it. This sheet is incredibly basic. There's notes at the top. We have these tabs. I don't know what monster means. I guess for me to build a monster. Good to know. All right. I'll have to remember that. Retainers we don't worry about. So yeah, so just go into your notes. And you can put it in there. So not a problem. Let's go off of the dexterities. Grace, what's the halfling's dexterity? Well, first of all, hold on a second.
Oh.
You know what? We were messing up here, and I blame Dylan. And
what did I do?
I have to do that because Tony's not here. Because otherwise, I would blame Tony. Okay, choose the race. We got to go to page 78. Character races. Okay. As of right now, I'm not allowing Drow. I'm not allowing Drugar. There's nobody's a dwarf. We've got nobody's an elf, gnome, half elf. Here we go, halfling. Okay, minimum of a 9 is your con. Hey, Rob Williams, thank you for liking the stream. We appreciate it. Grace, is your con a 9?
It is a 10.
Okay, you're good. Is your dexterity a 9?
It is a 13.
Okay, so you meet the requirements to be a halfling.
Yeah,
now,
I saw it and I was very happy.
You're going to get a +1 to your dexterity. Have you added that in?
Into the sheet, but not onto here. So I should probably right here.
And then you're going to get a -1 to your strength.
Right. And I'm pretty weak.
Okay. So I'll just go over this briefly here. We all know what a hobbit is. So we are not using level limits in this. Okay. Combat armor has to be tailored to halflings. So you are going to start off with some armor, but it's something to keep in mind moving forward. Okay. Defensive bonus. Due to your small size, halflings gain a +2 bonus to their armor class when attacked by large opponents greater than human sized. So you just have to remember that. So anything that's bigger than a human. So initiative. If the opponent rolls an individual, okay, we doesn't really worry about that because I do that a little bit different. But here is, this is important, missile attack bonus. You get a +1 bonus to attack rolls with all of your missile weapons, which is chucking a dagger or shooting a bow or whatever. Throwing
Things
a rock.
I like to do.
Yeah, throwing a rock. You will get a +1 to all your attack rolls.
Okay.
Okay. Halfling's natural constitution and resistance to magic grants them the bonus to saving throws versus poison, spells, and magic wands, rods, and stabs. This bonus depends on a halfling's constitution score. Grace, what is your constitution score?
A 10.
Okay. Believe it or not, that still helps you out here. You get a +2. So, you might have to just put this into your notes for now because I'm not sure if it's going to calculate correctly on the character sheet. This +2 applies to, let's see, does it apply to all of them? I don't think it does. versus
Right. So there is a
poisons,
section.
spells, magic
Yeah.
wands. Okay, so we've got that.
Yeah. Just
All right.
not paralysis, petrification, and breath attacks.
Right.
Those are the only two that weren't on there.
Okay, we're gonna jump over to Alex here. Here's your human. This is what you're gonna get. If the optional rule for lifting demi-human class level restrictions is used, which it is recommended that the loss of human character's main advantage, i.e. unlimited advancement in any class, be compensated by the following. You get +1 to your charisma and +1 to your constitution, sir.
Right, that brings my con up to 15.
Nice. Okay, when rolling your hit points, including at first level, the player of a human PC may roll twice and take the best result. Don't have to worry about that at first level, because at first level I'm already giving you guys a huge bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Decisiveness. When rolling an initiative roll is tied, humans act. You're kind of getting screwed there. So, because the way I do initiative is basically you do a dexterity check. If you're successful, you go before the bad guys. If you're unsuccessful, you go after the bad guys. So that is affected by weapons, though. So, like if you're using large weapons, you will that have the slow feat to the weapon. You will automatically go after the bad guys. So, all humans. All of a human's retainers, mercenaries gain a +1 bonus to loyalty and morale, which you are, of course, not going to have to worry about this at this said point and time. All right, so that's the humans. Let's take a look at the half-orcs, shall we? So
Let's do it.
All right. Rare offsprings of orcs and humans. They are human-like in stature and appearance, but only have at least one feature that marks their orcish heritage. Fangs or a pig-like snout, because yes, orcs in this edition they're pig-like. They're not like modern orcs. They're not cool hotties that just happen to have tusks. They're orcish. Okay. Due to the common animosity between orcs and humans, half-orcs are typically outcasts from both their parent cultures, living on the fringe of society, making a living by whatever means they can. So that goes back into whoever pulled some strings to get you onto the city watch, so forth. Okay.
What if now I don't know the lore all that well, but what if he was more of a not a slave, but like more like he's more or less like
Conscripted constable.
Conscripted, yeah, would be the
conscripted into it. No, it wouldn't work.
No,
no, wouldn't work. Basically,
I'm liking the half orc less and less the more we talk about it. If it's gonna be
if you want to choose
completely
out
of the ordinary, I think I want to.
It will be out of the ordinary. Half orcs.
Well, yeah. If it's gonna make it goofy, I don't want to do that.
It won't make it goofy. We can totally role play it. I don't mind role playing it at all. I think it would be awesome. But you just have to keep in mind, if you are going to play a half orc in the world of Greyhawk, there is going to be a substantial amount of animosity that's going to come towards you from human civilization.
I'm going back on the half orc. I don't like it.
Okay. So
it's a little silly.
Okay.
Let's go with just a plain old human.
Plain old human? Okay.
I want people to not like him because he's an asshole, not because he's a half orc.
Okay. So you're gonna you'll get that +1 to charisma and +1 to constitution.
Okay, +1 to charisma and constitution. Like a +1 modifier or a +1.
+1 to the stat.
To the stat. Okay.
You get to raise the stat by 1.
Okay. Perfect.
And then you do have the so there's the blessed, which will come into play with levels going forward, where you roll twice, take the better of the two when determining hit points. And then there's the decisiveness. We don't have to worry about that. I'll figure something else. I'm going to kick you guys another bone for being humans, because you're essentially losing your decisiveness bonus in here. So I'll figure that out. But just remind me about that. So, okay. So, there we go. We've got that taken care of. Let's go back to the stataroos. Let's see what we got going on here. Come on. And I know it hyperlinks everything, but of course I didn't click it. There we are. There we are. Okay. Did I already do your decks? There, Alex, did we already go over that?
No.
What's your dex?
My dex is. There we go. Dex is 11.
11. You get no bonuses across the board for an 11. Ciderin, are you crazy, dude? That's 2 1000s that you've cheered already. All right. Okay. So you guys all now have 3 hero points for when starting up the adventure. I appreciate that.
We're gonna be. This is some armor going into this first
Yes.
couple sessions.
And Ciderin was definitely saying that you should probably pick something else. He's definitely on your side for doing that.
Yeah, well, as soon as we started talking about it, I didn't love the idea of it being out of the ordinary.
I like this idea. So basically, I think what I'll do is I'm going to give you guys some extra starting gold right off the bat because being human, I'm going to do that way. Okay. What is Dylan? What's your dexterity?
My dex is 14.
Ooh, with a 14, sir, you're going to get a +1 to your AC, +1 to your missile, and +1 to your initiative. And basically, how that works with the check, I guess we can still use the decisiveness because essentially how you're doing it is, so your dexterity you say is 14, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have decisiveness. It gives you a +1. So what it is your dexterity for determining whether or not you are successful, it raises it by 1. So you would roll a check on a 15 instead of a 14.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you guys will still be able to use the decisiveness, so we're good with that. All right, let's see. Okay.
I'm still trying to find where. So the +1s were to what? Armor class, missiles, and.
Yeah, you don't really have to worry about adding that in. It'll automatically enter it in. We're just going down the character.
Beautiful. Getting an idea of what it is. Okay.
So when you put the stat number on the character sheet, it will automatically affect the other areas.
Beautiful.
So, okay. All right, charisma. What's the halfling's charisma up there, Grace? What are you rocking there?
An 8. That's
An 8. Excellent.
8.
Okay, so go to wherever your notes are at because I don't know if this is actually going to be factored in. I think basically I have to remember this for when I'm doing it. You have a -1 to NPC reaction rolls. So basically, when you're doing your job as the city watch and you go bellying up to somebody and you go, "Oi now, what's all this then?" And I do a roll to see how they react. It's not going to be so good if you're the one doing all the talking. Just throwing that out there. We do not have to worry about maximum henchmen or loyalty currently at this moment. But with that 8, the max amount of henchmen you could possibly hire are 3. Because if you hire any more than that, you can't keep them entertained enough to really want to work for you. And their loyalty is a 6. Which basically means when the shit hits the fan, I get to roll 2d6, and if I beat 6, they go, "You're not worth working for in this situation. We're out the door. We're panicking it." Right now, you're not really gonna have to worry about that so much. So what's Alex? What's the your character rocking with?
For charisma?
Yeah,
11.
11. Excellent. You're right in the middle. Nothing really to worry about. You can have 4 max henchmen, and their loyalty to you would be a 7, so 1 better. So not too bad. All right, Dylan, what's the charisma on you?
With the +1 from the racial bonus, it takes me to a 15.
Aha, NPC reactions to you, however, my friend, are at a +1. So you want to write that down somewhere in your notes. NPC reaction +1, because you're going to want to remind me of this when you're interacting. I will, of course.
Yeah, when I open my mouth.
I'll remember Grace's, though. You better believe that. I remember that. So, the max henchman you can have is 5, and their loyalty would be an 8. So not too bad.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Wisdom. All right. Grace, what's the halfling rocking on their wisdom?
14.
14 is good. You get a bonus to your magic saves of +1.
Okay.
There should be on the character sheet, I think there is on there something that affects the... Yep, it sure is. So, like, if you go and you look under saving throws, you see over to the far right there, it says wisdom.
Yeah.
If you put a 1 in there instead of a 0, that will affect your saving throws, correct? Because of your wisdom.
Okay.
Alex, what's your guys' wisdom rocking?
13.
13. Okay. You also will get a +1, so congratulations. And Dylan, what kind of wisdom?
11.
11. Okay. Your average there, you get no bonus or hindrance whatsoever. So. Okay. What's the halfling's constitution?
A 10.
10. Okay. You get no bonuses there. Alex?
15.
15. Okay. So when you actually roll, so starting when you reach second level and you roll, you will get a +1 to your hit points.
Mm-hmm.
For when you roll hit points. And Dylan?
I'm at the same, 15.
Okay, 15. Okay. Here's where the prime requisite comes in. Okay. So, what is your prime... what are you at in your prime requisite there, Grace? What's your number on your wisdom? Because you're doing a watchman, correct?
Yeah, 14.
14. You get +5% to experience earned. So you're going to want to definitely note that down. All right. Alex.
That's a 13 in my wisdom.
Okay, so you also get a +5 to the experience earned there. All right.
And that's in like right beneath the little box beneath level, correct?
Correct.
The plus percent?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. There you go. All right. And Dylan, what's your prime requisite?
My prime requisite is Dex, and it's at a 14.
Okay, you also will get +5 to your experience. So there you go.
Awesome.
We're all going to be leveling at the same rate.
Actually, Dylan will go up quicker than you guys.
Oh,
Experience in old school is not even. The experience required to go up in levels for a thief is less.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So we've done alignment. We're good there. Weapon proficiency optional. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we've got some other stuff that we're going to deal with here. These are... don't have to worry about death or anything. Backgrounds. Okay. Each character starts the game with 2 backgrounds. These are essentially the same as what used to be what were called skills in the old game. But essentially, you guys remember how I did the backgrounds in Wicked D6? Essentially, you have the background, and then basically, if you can justify how you're doing it and it's possible, it will benefit you. Okay? So, basically, the way that'll do it in this is when you're doing any sort of ability checks on your stat, if you have a corresponding background, it'll decrease the difficulty for you to have that happen. So we're going to have you guys roll. Each one of you get 2 backgrounds, and essentially what this is what you used to do in life or experience before you became part of the watch. So I need a D100. I need 2 D100 rolls from you, Grace. Oh, here, let me put it on the right thing so people can actually see your rolls. A 56 and a 65.
Yep.
This
Yep.
does have first edition aspects to it, Ciderin, and it has aspects of basic D&D. So 56, you have masonry as a background.
Interesting.
Corresponding stat to masonry is wisdom. And 65, you were a sailor at some point, which Leukish is a port city. It is actually the home of the Royal Navy of the Duchy of Ernst. They lay anchor here. Okay.
It'll also make sense why I curse so much
There
too.
you go.
So
And the corresponding stat for being a sailor is also a wisdom. Okay, Alex, give me 2 D100 rolls, please, sir.
Ready.
Okay, we've got a 20 and a 62. Nice. Okay, 20. You were a farmer. Okay.
He's so milquetoast. Yes.
A farmer.
All right.
The corresponding stat for being a farmer is intelligence.
Oop.
Okay, 60. Well, you didn't have to be a good farmer. That would make sense why you quit doing it. Okay, in 62, you were a navigator. So you do have tie to being on ships as well. So this corresponding things to having this as a background is, astronomy, sailing, swimming, navigation, of course. The corresponding stat for that is wisdom.
All right.
All right, Dylan, give me 2 D100 rolls, please, sir.
All right, here we go. Oh, I rolled them together. It's
That's
21
right.
and a 65.
21 and a 65. I think we got another farmer on our hands. No, 21 just gets over. You were a fisherman or a fisher. So
Nice.
corresponding stat for that is wisdom. Again, makes sense. You're in a port city here. Okay, and then we have 65, which is another sailor. So there you go, which is also a wisdom.
That makes sense.
Yep. So, again, that all makes sense. You guys, your living, your experience, all is tied in with being there at the next to the water. Leukish is on the shores of the Near Div, which is a great big inland sea, and it's called the Sea of Unfathomable Depths, I do believe is how it's coined. It's something unfathomable. Okay, that's the skill check mechanics. Okay. Now, the next thing that we got going on here, these are secondary skills, and we're not going to pick them right now. Those are backgrounds. These are secondary skills. These are something specific that you can go ahead. All characters start at level 1 and use the ability check mechanics. Oh, that's the ability check thing. Here we go. Characters may select skills from the general skills of their class skills section. Skills from other classes cost double. Okay? Now, each one of these, you'll see it in here, essentially each one of these skills all have a section that's like we have general skills, clerical skills, magic user skills, thief skills, warrior skills. So basically you get skill points, which starting at, I don't think I put that down in here. I'll have to write it in. You're going to get 2 starting skill points that you can go ahead and spend in any of one of these specific skills. It's in the house rules. We won't do it right now. So just make a notation that you have 2 skill points to spend on a specific skill. Okay?
Okay.
Next, we're going to go into advantages and disadvantages, which is another thing that I have that I've put in. This is totally for me. You can choose up to 2 advantages, but for each advantage that you choose, you must choose 1 disadvantage. If you choose to take no advantages, you don't have to take any disadvantages, unless you want to just take disadvantages. It's totally up to you. Again, we will not do this now because there's a lot to go through. It is in the homebrew as well. Just remember, up to 2 advantages. For each one you take, you have to take a disadvantage. I should talk Tony into playing an assassin. Unknown depths. There it is, yes. Okay. Okay, we don't have to worry.
Well, I know one disadvantage I'll be taking: addiction.
Addiction, alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But we'll...
Weapon proficiencies and weapon specialization. You guys cannot specialize. The reason for that is because weapon specialization is the sole domain of the fighter. But you can spend points on being... let's see here. What is that? You can spend points on weapon proficiency. And again, this is in the... it's in both. But go into the homebrew rules and you'll be able to see those right there. Essentially, weapon proficiency is going to keep you from not sucking with particular types of weapons. It's see, the rules are on page... Oh, it is on page 23. So, but, okay. Languages, we've already taken care of your languages. We've already taken care of the alignment. We've done the secondary skills, aka your backgrounds. We've got that taken care of. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our good old friend the thief here, and we're going to take care of you and your class, and then we'll do the 2 watchmen.
Okay.
So
I'm ready.
Just scrolling down here. QRST thief. Here we go. You're gonna get all kinds of good special abilities here, my dear friend. As your hit point, your hit dice moving forward is a D4.
Okay.
D4 plus whatever your con modifier is. Okay?
Which will be a +1.
You can use leather armor, essentially light armor, and you cannot use shields. Okay.
And is this going to be an equipment buy situation later on?
Correct.
Okay.
But it's something to keep in mind that you cannot.
I cannot use anything above leather armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, light armor. So, like, if you find a mithril chain shirt, I'll let you wear that.
Okay.
Good luck on that happening, but good.
Yeah.
You never know. So, you will get. Yes, we are using. I didn't see it in there. Yes, we are going to be using Ascending. We are not going to be using Thaco, because back in the day, now you might be thinking, oh, that's not old school. Well, back when I played old school, when it was only playing 2nd edition, I never used Thaco then either. We did our own conversion and did Ascending Armor class. Okay, so let's see here. You're going to get Backstab as a special ability, which should be on the a place
yes,
on the
I
front
actually
there.
I saw that one.
When attacking an unaware opponent from behind, a thief receives +4 bonus to hit and doubles any damage dealt.
That's dope.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy and paste that into my notes.
Not a problem.
So that I've got it.
Combat, because of the need for stealth, free movement, thieves cannot wear armor, which are heavier than leather or heavier than light armor. Read languages. Well, you're not 4th level yet, so you don't have to worry about that. Scroll use. When you get higher level, you can use scrolls. But, my dear friend, you have your thief skills.
Okay.
Thieves can use the following skills with the chance of success shown opposite. So if you go down, are you looking at it in the book there? Under thieves?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so if you look and we go across here and we have, a matter of fact, on there you see how it has the THACO listed. You see the number that's in brackets.
Mm-hmm.
That 0. That's your actual plus to hit. So. Right now, so you were correct. So
Gotcha.
you don't get a plus to hit until you hit level 5. Then you get a plus 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, there's your saving throws. First level. Death and poison is 13. So forth and so on. You can go through. But if you go down also here, level, it should say like CS is climb surfaces. You have 86% chance. TR, what the hell is TR? Find, remove treasure traps. Find and remove traps.
Okay.
So forth. Now, one thing that I am doing that's differently, if you look, the alterations I've made to all the character classes are in the back of the homebrew rules. So if you'll be able to find, see, here we go. That's racial. Alright, here we go. Here's the class stuff. Okay, new class abilities. From page 48 going forward. Where's thief abilities? It's going to be calculated differently than what's in here at the end. Okay? So, if you go on page 50, it's going to tell you how to calculate that stuff. Okay? Because, again, what I'm doing is I'm taking things over and I'm converting everything into a chance on the character's stat. So, 3/4, half, 1/4, so forth. So on page 50, it'll tell you how to convert that over. So those ones that are in there, don't use those. Use the one that's in the homebrew rules. Okay, but you will get all those. You are going to get all those special abilities. So you'll have the pickpockets, the open locks, the hide in shadows, hear noise, so forth and so on. You're going to get all those abilities. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so now Grace and my dear friend Alex, let's go ahead and take a look at this horrendous class that I've made that you've so wittingly fallen into. You're going to get the awareness. Okay, so you'll have that ability. Combat, which is basically talking about the weapons that you can and can't use. You can only use light armor, but you can use shields. Okay? Weapons, you can use any simple weapons. Okay? But there are some, let's see here. Due to your training in capturing criminals alive, attacks intending to do lethal damage are done at a -1 to attack and a -1 to damage. So if you're intending to do lethal damage to somebody, you get a -1. But due to their training to capture criminals alive, attacks intending to do subdue damage are done at a +1 to attack and a +1 to damage. And you are not saddled with the penalty for doing subdual damage. Okay?
Okay, so just non-lethal. I like that.
Yeah. So these class abilities are all starting on page 63 in the homebrew rules. You're also going to get the detect invisibility. Okay? You have that ability. The chance of success is a 1/2 your wisdom. I mean, not 1/2. 1/4 of your wisdom is what it's going to be. Now, if you take a look, I've already got these on a little cheat sheets. If you go in here to where the character sheets are, I've got it. See where it says X in 6 conversion?
Yeah.
So you got that. That's going to tell you if you see anything that says you have a 1 in 6 chance or something like that, it gives you the conversion over to what for using your stat. But also attribute checks, which is underneath it. I've already done the math out. So you've got your stat score and then what that breaks down if I ask for something. So like if your stat is a 13 and I say that's going to be a difficult check for you, then that's going to half difficulty. So you got to roll 7 or under. You see how it's already done out. So all you have to do is you can open it up. You can see, you could probably write it down on your character sheet too, if you some kind of way or whatever. But that's essentially how that works out. Okay. Watchmen have keen sense of determining if someone is lying to them or being insincere, or being sincere. I'm sorry. At 1st to 7th level, the Watchman has 1/4 wisdom ability check chance to determine if a person they are speaking with is lying to them or if they're sincere. Wow, you can really tell I didn't edit any of this shit. Okay, between 8th and 14th level, it jumps up to 1/2.
All right.
Okay.
And all these these goes into the ability and skills. These are all 2d6s, correct?
No, these are all going to be. So what's your guys' wisdom?
Mine's 13, I believe. Grace is
14.
14.
So 13. You have if you look on that ability check modifier at a 13, from level 1 to 7, you have it's a 4. See it over there? Difficulty 1/4 of your ability score. So you roll a d20. If you get a 4 or less, you know somebody's lying to you, or if they're telling the truth. When you get up to 8th level and beyond, it jumps up to 1/2. So then it'll be to 7. I've converted all of the d6s over into ability checks, essentially.
That's handy. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, once you get the habit of it and you're understanding, all I'll have to do is, if you're attempting to do something that's okay, use this
right. It's just
ability, and then this is the difficulty. Okay.
Yeah.
Parry. Watchmen have the ability to parry as per the rule in the player's tome on page 225, with the following exceptions. Watchmen with a strength of 10 can opt to parry and will receive a +1 to their AC for the round. I don't think. What's your strength there, Grace?
A 9. I'm too weak.
Okay. This +1 is cumulative with other bonuses for having a high strength ability score. Thus, if a Watchman with a 13 strength, the bonus to AC becomes +2. So basically, what it's saying is that if your strength was over 10, you'd get an additional +1 to the parry. This is how parry works. You can say, I'm going to parry for the round. What you would do is you would take your bonus to hit for that round, you add it to your armor class.
Okay.
So essentially it just makes you harder to hit, is what it is. Pursuit. When the Watchman's party pursues an opposing group in an urban environment, see Evasion and Pursuit, page 218. The chance of evasion is reduced by 10%. So it's harder for people to shake you. Thanks for stopping in, Rigger. We appreciate it. Maybe we'll kill something next week. Okay, and then after reaching 9th level, Watchmen live to serve others in the service of a city or to a lord. They are not destined to strike out on their own and gather followers and lands. However, they can rise high in their organization, and by 9th level, they are considered to be equal in stature as a captain of the watch. Okay? And there you go. So that's what you guys get. That's it. Those are your guys' characters. So the only other thing really you need to do is you need to figure out. Yeah, I'm sure I will screw it up, man. You'll need to go through and do your your skills. Okay? And then you're going to need to go through and do if you have any advantages or disadvantages. Like that. You guys have any questions?
Not at
includes,
present.
That includes anybody in chat. If anybody in chat have questions.
Do we have a cap as like a money cap as far as buying weapons and armor and all that shit?
Let's go through and figure it out here. Starting money. Let's see. Equipment and gear. I wonder if it starts off. Or if it has it under your character class. That's where it used to be. Alright, let's go to multiplicating basics, secondary. Alright, I'm going to go to equipment and we'll see if it's there. If it's not, then it's got to be... Look underneath your character class for me there, Dylan, because you're the only one that doesn't have a... See if it says anything about cash in there.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. I don't see anything here.
I think I found a wealth on page 90 of the player's tome.
Aha!
It's talking about the starting money.
There
PC
it
starts
is.
with 3d6 times 10 gold pieces.
There it is. Congratulations. That's your starting wealth. Now you guys are going to be starting with some gear. Yeah, starting wealth.
Okay.
3d6. Okay, so go ahead and give me these rolls. Why don't we start with you, Grace? Roll the 3d6 times 10.
So 90.
Okay. Now let me put it back over so people can see that. All right, Alex, go ahead.
370.
Okay. And
Damn, how'd you do worse than me?
Dylan. 110 for Dylan.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Of course, the master thief.
Yeah.
that makes complete sense.
We're taking bribes.
Exactly. Okay. So
And now this 110 is in what kind of piece? Is this 110 gold?
pieces. 110 gold
Okay.
pieces.
It says common coin is gold piece. So
Cool. All right.
Let's look at.
it's got a conversion chart.
And I'm assuming the
And the-
copper, silver, Illyrium, gold, and platinum is kind of just the typical, same as D&D
Yeah, I'm not going to change
conversion
it.
rate.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
change it. It's different, but I'm going to keep it in tens because it's easier.
Yeah.
Old school, I forget how they did convert it. Fuck all that. I'm not doing that. I want to make math easy on myself. So, and by the way, I was wrong. Your secondary skills that you start with are 3. And then every level after that, you will get 3 more points. So, yeah. And did you see how on the thief, essentially what it is you get to choose of your starting abilities. You have some that'll start at half of an ability or a quarter, and then what ends up happening is as you increase per level, you'll get points that you can put into each one of those to make them go up. Is essentially how that works.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Where would I see that?
That's going to be in the homebrew rules.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I've got that open too. I'm just sort of flipping back and forth between them.
And it is on page. It's got to be page 50. No, that's Ranger. Hold on. Those are racial abilities. I miss turning a page?
Here we go. Thief
452?
class skills.
Oh yeah, there it is right there. New thief abilities. So it is page 50. It's just down towards the bottom. And that's essentially how you're going to determine those skills that I was talking to you about that your character gets on there.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, each one of you is going to have, now this is going to be equipment. Okay, you're going to start off with a suit of leather armor. A small buckler shield. A dagger.
Can I
Uh-huh.
just I mean, because I'm a halfling, can I hold that shield?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was it again? I've forgotten.
It's a buckler. It's really small. Essentially, it's like a target
Okay.
shield. It's a little thing that they would hold in one hand
Yeah,
normally.
yeah.
For you, it's sort of like a decent sized shield. So
Right.
Now,
Okay.
because I'm a thief, I can't use shield, so I'm assuming I don't have one of those.
you can have an extra dagger if you like. I'll do that.
Beautiful.
Okay. And then you guys will have a helmet, and you're going to have a tabard, which is essentially it's a emerald green trimmed in gold with the bear symbol of Ernst on it. You will also have a club, and you're going to have a spear if you so choose. Okay. Now, there is, I know Tony's not here right now, but we'll remember these roles. So what I want is each one of you to just go ahead and roll me a naked D20.
$14.
Hey,
And we
9.
both got 9s.
Yeah. So, this is fun. So basically, what'll happen is that when Tony does up his guy, I'm gonna have him roll. If he beats a 14, then he will get it. As of right now, the halfling is essentially the squad leader.
Oh God.
Oh, it gets better. Now the squad leader is also, because you guys are rookies to the watch. You're not career watch guys. You're just coming into the watch. Each squad you do your work in squads, 4, go figure. Now the person who's the squad leader is called the light bearer or the lamp bearer. And the reason for that is because, now you can write this down, or probably not yet because we don't know what Tony's role is. We'll have to remember this though. It is a staff. At the top of the staff is a little basket, a bronze basket with a continual flame spell cast inside. And it has slits in it that you can open up so that you guys have light. Okay? Something else that I need you guys to write down is each one of you have one pair of shackles. You're going to have 3 leather tongs each. Those leather tongs are essentially if you need more shackles. It's for tying people's hands. That's what they're given to you for. Okay. This is something each one of you is going to have a whistle. Okay. And each squad, and you'll have to figure out who's going to carry what. Okay. Each one of you is going to carry, each squad has one each of these types of flares. And essentially what it is, it's like a big old, you know those things that you pull the string on and it pops and it shoots out the confetti? They're like big versions of those, but you hold them up in the air and you pull it and it'll shoot a flare up into the sky. It works during the day or night because it's got a bright light, but it also has smoke with it. So if you shoot it off during the day, if you happen to be on patrol during the day. There's 3 colors. There's a blue one, which means send the paddy wagon. There's a red one, which means send for backup. Send backup. And there's a white one, which is for call the night merchants. Now, the night merchants are essentially a guild within the city. They're body collectors. But they're a little bit more than body collectors. Because undeath is a problem in a fantasy world, especially a D&D fantasy world. They're kind of like specially trained fighters that know how to deal with the undead if necessary. But they also double as the body collectors for the city. So if you shoot, so like if you were to come by and you would come across a cadaver, you would shoot this off and then you'd wait and somebody from the night merchants would come along to collect said bodies from you. Okay?
Cool.
And so that's your guys's let me make sure I didn't forget anything. Each guy has a whistle, got that. Okay. Now, in traditional Dungeons and Dragons of this level, you get experience points for killing monsters, right? You get experience points for collecting loot, right? Well, you guys are part of the Watch, right? So it's not really you're not murder hobos, you know? Now, if maybe this adventure kind of goes down this road a certain way, that might come into play. But as of right now, because you guys are part of the Watch, you will get experience points for capturing people alive. Okay? If you will still get, say, for example, if you are walking down some alleyway and there's some criminals that are beating up or accosting somebody, and you engage them. If you kill somebody who is breaking the law, this is the big thing here. If you kill somebody who's breaking the law, you're still going to get experience for that, provided it was provocated. Now, like if some guy's jaywalking or something like that, and you go, "Ha!" and you fucking Lancelot his ass, and just whack him out. Maybe not. But when you capture them alive and bring them in, you'll get experience for that. Plus, you're going to get a bonus. Okay, depending on how it works. Now, when it comes to money or items and things along these lines, anything that is collected while doing your job, let's say, for example, you roughed up those 2 hooligans in the alleyway and you turn over their valuables to evidence when you're getting put into jail, you'll get experience for all the gold or the value of something you turn in. So if they had, say, 50 gold on them, and you turn in 50 gold to evidence, you get 50 experience points for doing that. So it's sort of like, instead of, because you're the Watch, you're not really supposed to be like robbing and killing and being murder hobos. So it's kind of the flip way. That's how you're going to give them. So there you go. So that's how that'll be worked in. Okay. Okay. And then basically what we're going to do is, you guys, we had somewhat of a walkthrough. You've got a little bit of an idea now as far as how to make these characters. Each and every one of you have a second character sheet. So now I want you to go through. You're going to roll up. We won't do this on air again. I want you to roll up your investigators. What would you like to be an investigator? Okay. Now, is there any questions you guys would have about something like that? when it comes to the races, here I want to see. That's classes. I want to go to the races. I'm just going to give a quick overview for you, just so you know in mind where they at. Character races. Here we go. Of course, humans. We all know about them. That's good. Duergar. Those are evil dwarves. Okay. So, yeah, I can't play a Duergar. Now, if we were to go, or if you want, we could work something out. We can definitely craft something into the story. But is to keep in mind, there's bad connotations to it as far as people are concerned. Dwarf is okay. Elf. Drow, of course. If you wanted to play one, we could work something out. But again, they're considered the Drow are the ones that are coming and stealing your babies. Drow are slavers, and they do raid the surface world to take humans and different races down into the Underdark to be their slaves. So, all right, elves were good. Now keep in mind, with elves, they are living in human society. There are some. I don't think it breaks them down in here. So basically, all the elves here would be essentially the same statistically as a high elf. That Greyhawk book I gave you does outline the different types of elves. High elves, like I said, are the standard. They're gray elves, which are like elven aristocrats, probably wouldn't be, they're living in the elven kingdoms. They're not really monkeying around with this kind of stuff. Gnomes are fine. Half elves are fine. Halflings, of course, are the most awesome race. Remind me to do something nice for you for picking that, Grace. Half orcs are playable. There's just, again, there's going to be connotations to that for playing that race. Surf Niblin are not evil, but they are a subterranean race. Okay? If a Surf Niblin were to, if somebody were to make a Surf Niblin character, they are going to get some sideline looks and whatnot for just, they're out of place. Okay? And that's pretty much it. Those are the races. So really the only two that are off the board are the Drow and the Duergar. Mm-hmm. Unless you want to go that route, and we'll figure something out story-wise for it. So, but yeah. So that's about it.
I'm definitely leaning towards Elf for my Inspector character, but we'll see. It may end up just being another human. I'm not sure.
Yes. Now, if you guys if you go through, feel free to, like I said, you don't have to read that big Greyhawk book I gave you the PDF of from cover to cover. You don't have to do that. Just read over the Duchy of Ernst part. That'll give you an overview of the kingdom in which you're in. Because if you are of a certain race or whatnot, I'll be letting you know where they're coming from. Okay? Because races all live in particular areas. There is a halfling community just outside of Leukish. It's called Four Hills. Right. So that's where your character's from. You're from Four Hills because there's a halfling in that halfling town has been there for a long time.
Okay.
So actually, it predates the way I play it. It predates the city of Leukish in being there. Leukish at one time was nothing more than just a fishing village until the aristocracy goes, we're going to build a capital here. Well, the halflings were living there at that time. The gnomes will be probably from the west in the hills. The Carrion Hills are over there and things along those lines. If you're elven, you're going to definitely probably have roots in coming from Selene down to the south there. Which, again, I did provide you guys with links to some maps, and there should be some maps in that book too. in that PDF I gave you. So, and dwarves would definitely be from the mountainous and hilly areas as well. So, if you want to go, seeing how you are human, if you want to go and have some sort of influence as far as you're more Iridian or Sul or Flan or any of the different types of nationalities or ethnicities that are in there, feel free to go ahead and look those up. And if you want to work one of those in, that's fine. We can do that. Otherwise, pretty much everybody in Greyhawk outside, the bulk are going to be Heinz 57. They're a mix of all kinds of different things. So, Leukish is a melting pot. It doesn't really have the problems of some of the older cities in the duchy, aka the older Sul aristocrat houses. There's Sul aristocrats that live there. There's a rich neighborhood where there's these mansions where some of the Sul aristocrats live. But for the most part, the bulk of everybody that lives in Leukish is it's a mix. It's not like there's any one particular nationality over another. And where in a lot of different places in the duchy do have really heavy Sul influence on it. So, okay.
The Sul were given like the connotations put to them, they were one of the attributing like political like cogs in the Greyhawk War, correct?
No.
Okay.
No. They predate that stuff. Essentially,
okay.
There was a time where Greyhawk, the Flaness, this continent, okay, was only inhabited by demi-humans and humanoids. You had elves, you had dwarves and whatnot, and then you had the orcs, the goblins, that sort of thing. There weren't really humans living here. And you had, to the far east, you had the Sul Imperium and you had the Baklunish Empire, okay? And then there was different types of human tribes that lived in conjunction or around these sort of things. And basically what ends up happening is these guys start fighting, and as they start fighting, tribes start migrating. Okay, the first tribes to migrate into what is the Flaness are the Flan. And they move into the Flaness. That's where it gets its name. The Flaness is from the Flan. They're the first ones to move in there. They start settling down and what have you. Then you have the Iridians. Then after the Iridians move in, and then you start having the Sul coming and migrating into the Flaness. And the reason the Sul come into the Flaness is because their homeland, the Sul Imperium, is destroyed in the Reign of Colorless Fire, which turns their old homeland into the Sea of Dust.
Yeah.
And they had started, had caused what is called the Invoked Destruction on the Baklunish, which destroyed the Baklunish kingdom. So it was a magical weapons race, and then they obliterated each other essentially. More so the Sul than the Baklunish as far as actual physical devastation to the land.
Right.
A lot of the Sul, though, as it was starting to happen, some of them started going, "Well, we're out of here. We're leaving," because not all the Sul are evil sons of bitches. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few that are. So, and they left and they go into the Flaness. Where you're at in the duchy, I'd have to look at the name of the city. I want to call it Certain. No, it's not. But there's a town in the center of
Seltaran.
Seltaran. That's it. That is like big time Sul. It's like they look down on anybody who's not Sul. All the aristocratic Sul houses are based out of there. They will have, a lot of them have homes in, say, like in Leukish, but they don't necessarily live there. They still live in Seltaran, okay? And so
they'll summer in Leukish or something. Yeah,
correct. The Greyhawk Wars erupt between Ius, who is essentially this it's like their version of what's the guy from Lord of the Rings? Sauron.
Okay.
He's an evil. He's not as cool as Sauron. He's an evil demigod. Okay, and he's the one who kicks off the Greyhawk Wars. But the Greyhawk Wars is between more than just him and some of these other kingdoms, like Nyrond, which is to the east of you guys, is a big kingdom that got into a war with the remnants of what is the Great Kingdom. And so there's a big war that happened over there, which wasn't really connected to Ayus and Furindy and the Shieldlands and all this different shit that's happening to the north and to the northwest of you guys. Like I said, the good thing about the duchy is the duchy and the county of Ernst really weren't touched in the war. They didn't really have much of an effect. They have after effects. Like I said, there's a lot of refugees that came in here and have settled here and what have you, and they're playing different things off each other, you know, and those are things that you'll come to find out as the story goes on. The Greyhawk Wars are over. There was a treaty that was signed. So, but
This was what 12 years prior. That's when they ended.
roughly,
correct?
yeah, I'd have to look at the actual timeline, but it's roughly about 12 years.
How long did the war last?
I want to say the war lasted around 10 years, roughly.
Okay.
Again, I'd have to look at the timeline.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out just how fresh faced my and naive my poor little cadet's gonna be.
Yeah, unless your characters are middle aged, the chances of you actually having fought in the war, especially unless you're from, and this is something else to consider, you don't have to be an Ernstian. You don't have to be from Ernst. You could be somebody who has come to Leukish from another kingdom, and I have under the also I'm pretty sure I sent this out. I don't know if it's separate from but it's the player's information about Leukish in the city, and it talks about the people. I don't know if it gives much of a back history, but it talks about a lot of the NPCs, some of the organizations that exist in the city. The city. There's a castle and a mansion here for King Carl. I'm not King Carl, for Duke Carl. Okay, who's basically he's the head of the duchy, and the Ursine Guard, which are the elite force, are stationed here. The Royal Marines are stationed in Leukish. Okay, the Leukish Navy, the Duchy's Navy, are in here too. So there's a lot of swaggering soldiers that you can find on the streets as well, and these are pretty. You know what I mean? These guys aren't pushovers. So, but yeah.
Sailors coming in and making a ruckus, I'm sure, is not uncommon.
Drunk sailors, yeah. It has shipyards. They build ships and stuff. There's also the Reni, who are here, and what they are is they're like gypsies, is what they're like. But these are barge people. They live on the near div, and they live on big barges. So it's like big old houseboats is what they live on. During the wintertime, they will find secluded coves and stuff like that to weigh anchor during that time. Okay, whether your character's personal opinion of the Rene is up to you. However you decide it. The Rene are not looked upon nicely because they have that, just like, stereotypes that exist in our world with gypsies and whatnot. They have the same way where they have people that are treating them basically unfairly because they have this, opinion of them.
Yeah,
They have exactly. That's a really good way of putting it. Are there Rene that are rogues and cutthroats and whatnot? Yes, there are, but they're definitely the minority. It's not like they're all bad. It's not like that at all. But Leukish is a very organized place. It's very merchant driven. The inside of the city is where all the merchants are at. As you would think, inside the walls of the city, you've got all these different merchants. You have the houses of the rich and influential. You have all of the public work buildings. What you don't have inside the city walls are the common person's homes. Common people's homes are outside the city. There's Eastgate and Westgate, which are essentially it's extensions of the city, but that's where everybody who works for the merchants, works for the people who are the traders, and work for the government and all that different stuff. They live outside of town in these two, outside the city in these two essential towns outside. And then you have the two camps. Well, not the two camps, the three refugee camps that have popped up. Now, these refugee camps have been here for some time now. They started, the war's been over for, like I said, I think 12 years. These camps started sprouting up during the war. So these camps are over 10 years old. Easy. And they've become basically permanent structures, permanent extensions of the city outside of the city. Okay? But unfortunately, the planning, the buildings that are there now and stuff like that are not necessarily the best. So, and let's see, there's Little Nyrond is one of them, and everybody that essentially lives there are people who came from Nyrond. Nyrond was having a bunch of wars and stuff, and there were a bunch of people who fled Nyrond and came here, and they started that little camp, and now it's essentially like another town that's right outside of town. Let's see, where's the... That's East Station. Oh, that's why. Okay, then you've got the East Camp. Okay. The larger East Camp is a motley mess of refugees that come from several kingdoms affected in the Greyhawk Wars. There's people from the Banded Kingdoms, Ten, and Furandy, and a number of other different... It's like everybody that came here that wasn't in a large chunk of population kind of formed East Camp. West Camp, the bulk of everybody that's from West Camp come from a place called the Shield Lands, which was essentially decimated during the Greyhawk Wars. And so you had a huge amount of the population was just displaced. And they had to travel far and wide, and because Duchy of Ernst was relatively untouched, they were able to settle here with less complications. There were some other neighbors they could have went and settled in, but their neighbors were also involved in the war. They didn't have extra food and all this different stuff to take care of these refugees, so they would just push them on down the line and what have you. So, and that's what you have with West Camp. Now these, like I said, even though they're refugee camps, they're pretty much they're part of the town. They're part of the city itself now, and it's in all likelihood they're just going to continue to grow and become more standardized. Now there is a map that I have. If you click into where your character sheets where there's a Leukish map, if you bring that up, and it'll kind of show. I don't have the key up yet. I'm going to end up putting up the key. So 30, that right there, that's East Camp. 31 is Little Nyrond. And 29 is West Camp. Okay? Now you see how there's, like I said, there's the two extensions of the town. The one to the east is Eastgate, and the one to the west is Westgate. It's essentially the name of the neighborhood. The wall, like I say, the wall pretty much just encompasses businesses, official buildings, and things along those lines. And then 20 is Four Hills. That's where the halflings live. So there's
Hamlet.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of division within the city, and it's pretty much all on. It's not on racial, any kind of racial divisions. It's all economic, and essentially nationality, as in from where you come from, is essentially what it is, and they've clung together for commonality. So. Who's scum, Asher? I just saw you because they're scum.
We got Judge Claude Frollo in the chat over here.
It was Renee, I think is what he was talking
the
about.
Renee?
Take the Renee vermin to the Palace of Justice.
There's a Renee that's extremely popular that lives in the town. I think she's 26. Number 26. I want to get her name right. Yep. Lady Russo. She's a fortune teller. And she's
Just straight up Esmeralda.
And she is in very high demand. So much so that the nobility, a lot of them will even visit her, or they will have her. They'll send a carriage and have her come to their house.
All right then.
Yeah. There you go. I could just continue to drone on about all these little different things, but that stuff is in the information on Leukish that I sent you guys. Feel free to first of all go ahead and finish up and flesh out your characters with your secondary skills, advantages, and what have you, and then go ahead and then you can start on making your investigators.
Yep.
We'll definitely be
All right.
starting with the patrolman. So, and then we'll just go from there. So
Sounds good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead. Whoa, wow, that's right on time. It's like 9:59. I'm 1 minute away. I do want to apologize everybody again for the technical difficulties that were. I'll blame me. It's my fault. So if Adam, if you're watching it, he'll tell you it's my fault. So, but I want to say thank you for everybody who were tuning in just to come and watch our session 0, where we're just getting things together and rolling up some characters, listening to a bunch of static and fuzz and things like that. So we appreciate it very much. Hey, Grace, why don't you go ahead and say goodbye and good night?
I'm Grace, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this. It definitely is very intriguing. So yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Maxwell, and I thank you for the exposition dump, because now this I puzzle pieces are falling into place with just where my guy came from, where he's going. So yeah, I'm looking forward to stepping into his naive little shoes next week.
Excellent. Thank you. And Jolly Green Dylan.
Sorry for the green coloration tonight, folks. I'm Dylan. I'm looking forward to diving into this. I'm really into the whole detective and beat cop element of this whole campaign, so it's going to be a lot of fun to sort of get in and explore that dynamic.
Indubitably. So, with that having been said, I am Giant Stop, the Will DM, your dungeon master for this here game. I'm glad that you guys decided to come by. Hopefully entertained you to some degree. Next week we will have a much more polished version. This was just a session 0. I decided to do it more so because at first I wasn't going to air this, but we had Dragonlance got postponed another week. So if I didn't run this, we would have had nothing on the channel for the entire week. So I decided, what the hell? We'll go ahead and we'll put it on there, and if anybody wants to check it out and watch, they're more than welcome.
Yeah, it was nice to have people's input and stuff in the
Yes.
chat, and yeah.
Totally.
Well, and this is something you'll see that as the Greyhawkers come in and watch, you guys will start to you'll learn from the
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah, I mean, I already have.
To our Greyhawkers, I apologize in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can educate us along the way,
Yeah.
as I'm sure we'll be doing already. But you can support him in that.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few that have way more knowledge about it than I do. I'm constantly blown away by their ability to pull just obscure, lore out of their ass. It's like, oh, that's, yeah, you see in Dragon article, blah 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 blah. It's like, what? How do you remember this shit? Yeah, Zerathon. There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you very much, everyone, for. I got to get the end set up. Look at me. I'm totally not ready.
Classic Will.
I know, right? Anyway. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we will talk to you all next Wednesday when we will actually start with some motherfucking role play. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Doodles.